Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And it's finally here, day 31 of Inktober Tangles. I can't believe it's been a whole month already, and it's been a lot of fun. Our Tangle today is by Zentangle, and it's called Swarm. And it's a series of, they're like parallel lines, but they go in decreasing order. So you can kind of stack them together or put them in groups. So we're going to take a look at that. And since October 31st is also Halloween in the United States, I thought we'd do a festive little tile with a pumpkin surrounded by swarm. Before we start, a big shout out to Stephanie Jennifer for putting together Inktober Tangles. Thank you, Stephanie. It's been a lot of fun, and I've learned so much. Um, and some of the tangles were easier than others for me, so I will keep practicing and see what I can do with them. All right, so for today's project, we need a white tile, a black pen, a pencil, a tortillon, and I also do have colored pencils, just the 12 pack of the Crayola, and we're just going to use some uh, kind of orange and yellow colors from there, mostly orange and yellow. Okay, so let's get started. We're just going to block out a simple pumpkin to begin with, and I'm just going very, very basic here, very basic. So I'm going to make a curved line, and then I'm going to make another curved line, but it kind of gets smaller towards the top here. And then I'm just going to draw a curved line on the bottom. And then I'm simply going to draw a circle around it. So that's our very basic pumpkin there. Very basic. And we'll get back to the pumpkin in a little bit. We're going to start with swarm and put that around our pumpkin. So swarm is just that series of parallel lines decreasing in size. And the spacing is pretty deliberate. So we are just going to start in one corner and just kind of work our way around. I think that's probably the easiest way to go, just putting these in. So start with a straight line, straightish line. It's kind of the width of my pen. And then we're going to go in decreasing size. So you've got parallel lines in decreasing size. They make kind of like a triangle. And I can zoom in on that a little bit so it's easier to see. And then we're going to keep repeating that, but alternating the direction. So this time I'm going to put my longer line here, and then I'll have the decreasing lines. And then I'll start with the decreasing line here. And then we'll go this way. If you need to rotate, please do. And then we'll go this way. So you can get sort of like a hexagon shape here with your triangles in there. So I have 6 of them. And then from here, we just keep going. So I could fit one up here like that. And then we could go over here. So you're always alternating and just fitting them in. And I'm kind of working my way around the pumpkin. I think I'll go up over here. And then how would I like to do this one? So it's always kind of alternating the angles and then trying to do parallel lines, but in a decreasing order. So we're going to put that all the way around our pumpkin and finish that first. Let's see. We could do a small one here. I'm going to kind of extend that out with some dots just to fill in that area. And then let's go back over to this side. And I'm not concerned about this side being straight at all. I am just literally focusing on putting in the swarm. And I think for this one, I'm going to switch to this then. All right, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that I can work a little freer here. I'm just trying to think how I'd like to go with this. Let's go this way. So it really just becomes a matter of fitting them in, rotating if you need to. And for me, I've noticed sometimes they fit together better than other times, but I don't worry about it too much. All right, I'm going to leave that like that for now, and then I'm going to go over to the other side here, and I think one would fit in perfectly here. And then we could go like this. I'm gonna zoom in again. So for this one, I'm trying to do the kind of like a hexagon shape. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. And then we can tuck in number 6 here. So you can see sometimes we get this really nice hexagon shape there. It goes pretty quickly, but these are definitely deliberate lines, so you do have to put some thought into where they're going to go. So I'm trying to leave some space around the pumpkin. Again, I'm not too concerned whether these are straight or not. I kind of like that organic look to it. Let's come around here. So sometimes I do add a few dots on the end, and that's just because I'm trying to fit it around the shape. And we're getting towards the bottom here, so kind of have to fit these in as best as we can. And I think I'm going to leave it like that. I don't really have a lot of space down here. We could maybe just put some shading in there, but I'm gonna think about it a little bit. So now we're gonna take a look at our pumpkin shape. And I thought, so for Halloween, one of my favorite tangles is Künstler by Margaret Bremmer. It's very simple. And I think I'm going to feature that as my tangle of the week, which is we're on week 41. I'm a little behind, but this is the perfect one to fill in for that. So for Künstler, we are just going to actually ink in over our pencil lines here. And you can either go to a point or make it kind of stumpy. And I think today I'll just kind of go into like a point like that. And then I'm going to ink over our outline of the pumpkin. That. And then this is where we have a lot of fun with this. So we are going to make some curvy lines. And they're just kind of random, kind of going from, I'm starting on the left, from the top curvy line down to not fully the center, but kind of close to it. Then we'll put in another set of curvy lines, but going opposite. So whereas this one went out to the left, this one's going to start out to the right, come closer in and out like that. So we're alternating those as best as we can. And I think that's probably enough. You could have more or less if you'd like. So we had, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, and I think that's enough. And then you can decide, and I'm going to come in with a pencil here. You can decide where you want to kind of draw a line through. You could go through here or a little lower here, or go right through the middle. I think, what do I want to do? Uh, I'm kind of trying to think about it. I'm just gonna go, I think I'll just go right through here, kind of roughly the center for me, like that. I'll go in a little darker so you can see, but your line could be higher or lower. And then I'm going to go back in with my pen, and along the line, I'm actually putting in these crescent moon shapes. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Like that. And then you can just pick any one of these. And we're just doing an aura of the crescent moon shapes. So I'm going to start with this one. I just randomly picked it. And we're actually bringing it in, starting a little bit, not at the end, but a little bit in. Do your, it's like a partial aura. And then we have these little bit of spaces to fill in. So these are gonna, some are gonna be wider and some are gonna be thinner. If you have any little spaces, you can fill those in. Then you can go to the next one. I'm gonna do all the ones on the top first. So these are very organic shapes. And I'm going to go back and get this one here. I was going in and filling in these little spaces. Once we have the top done, we can go in and do the bottom. And if you would prefer to rotate your tile around and work this way, you can do that. I'm going to work this way for a little bit. So that you can see that you can do it this way as well. And just filling these in. Like that. And I'll be right back in a second. My apologies. So we finished this one, and you can see this lovely, it's really organic. It's really fun. I really enjoy this. I'm very fond of the organic tangles. And again, we just keep doing that for the ones on the side. Fill in as you go, or you can fill them in later. Gonna make this one kind of large. And then we have this little section over here. And then back over here. I'm sorry, spam callers. So annoying. All right, so we finished that. We have this wonderful organic looking pumpkin, but because it's Halloween, I want to add a little spookiness to it. So in our original areas where we created these like seed shapes, I'm going to put little eyes. Now, if you don't like putting in little eyes, you can leave them as they are and just color them in orange, or you can just color them in solidly black. But I am actually going to put in two ovals. And then I'm going to color it in black around the ovals. And the same thing for each of them. This one's pretty tiny, so it's kind of tough, but it's like a tiny little creature in there. This one we could get creative and have three eyes if we wanted, just for fun. And then we can put details in our eyes. So for the smaller ones, I'm just putting little dots in them because there's not much else we can do. And then for this one, maybe I want to put in an eyelid and a little bit of a dot. And then we can do, we've got three eyes here. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to do like dots, but not filled in dots. And then for this one, I'm going to do the eyelids on the bottom like that. But you can play around with the little eyes and do whatever you want. Or like I said, it could be all black, or don't put anything in. We can just put some color in. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of texture here to my stem with just some stripes using the aura method like that. So we're going to do a little shading now. So for the swarm, you wouldn't actually need shading, but we can do some shading in these areas where they all come together, just a little bit here and there. Swarm would look really nice in a metallic too. So if you're looking to do something different, you might want to try a metallic. And I don't have to get all of the intersections. I'm kind of just picking random ones. And then with our pumpkin, I'm going to add a little bit of shading here at the bottom of the stem. And then I like to add some shading on the edges of our little bumpy areas. And I'm not adding a lot of shading, just light shading. If you're not going to add color, you could go in darker with the shading. So just a little bit here. Like that. Maybe a little shading at the top too. All right, then we can take our tortilla and then just do a little bit of the blending. These areas go really quickly. And like I said, I was pretty random with where I put the shading. So you might have more or less than I do. If you want more consistency, you can do every single spot, and you can even add more with your tortillon if it has a lot of graphite on the end like mine does. I could add some there, for example. So just a light touch of shading. Um, and then we're going to go in and get our stem. And then all of these areas here. Just a light back and forth. We might actually want to have some shading here. I got all those areas. I'm just going to come back in here and add a little shading around here. Maybe take my pencil and actually add some more along this area just to kind of define our little pumpkin better. Like that. And let me change my screen now. And we can zoom out a little bit here. We're going to add some color. So that looks really cute as it is. You wouldn't need to add color if you don't want to. Um, you can stop right there. You can stop and be done. You can put your initials on it. Uh, And let's go ahead and put our initials on it so that we don't forget. So I am just going to tuck mine in like right here. Like that. But I actually do want to add a little bit of color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to select, so I have the red, orange, and the orange and the yellow, and then maybe a brown and a dark green for the stem. You could make your stem all green if you'd like to, but I'm going to start with the stem and just add the brown lightly. So my style is not to press too hard with the colored pencil. So I'll have kind of a lighter look to my coloring. Some people like to definitely press harder with their colored pencil, and that's perfectly fine. That's just your style. So now I'm going to go in, once I blocked in the color, I'm going to go in with a little more pressure and just make some of the sections of the stem a little darker. Not all of them. And then I'm going to take the dark green and add a little bit of green to some of these areas, just for some interest. All right, so we're done with our brown and our green. Next, I'm going to take the red orange, and I'm just kind of going along the edges, along the areas where we actually did our shading. So I'm adding some of that red orange to it. So right along these areas, mostly covering the graphite. I could come in a little bit more over over the eye areas. And I'm going to do that for each of them. And of course, along the bottom, we want that darker. So I'm going to fill in some red orange there. Along the stem. So it's just a touch of red orange. I wasn't using too much pressure at all. And then I'm going to come in with the orange and literally color over all of that. Just using some circular motions. Then I'm going in and adding a little pressure to these edges so that it's darker on the edges, but lighter on the inside. So coming in, putting in a light layer of orange over the entire area and coming in darker on the edges. Like that. We're going to do that for each section. So you want your center to have some orange, but just a light touch of orange. And these are circular motions. And then going in with a little pressure along the edges. And always remember to rotate as you need. There is no rule that says you have to work in just one direction. All right. Get this blocked in. Go in with a little pressure on the bottom because we want that pretty dark. And we just have this section. Again, a little darker under the stem. All right, and then we can take our yellow and down the center, add just a little bit of the yellow for a little bit of the highlight. Likewise, you could do that with a white pencil if you'd prefer. So I'm just adding the yellow down that center area that was kept a little bit lighter. And there we have our pumpkin all shaded in, all colored in, um, just with regular colored pencils. So it's a very economical way to add just a little bit of color to your project. And I think it looks super cute. And I'm a big fan of these pumpkins. I just love doing these. I could do these all day. All right, so we're finished with this actually. So Swarm was our Inktober Tangle day 31 Tangle, and Swarm is by Zentangle. So we are going to fill out our final tile. My name, that's Inktober. Tangles 2024. Day number 31. I'm just going to put here Halloween. All right. And so our Tangle information, we had Swarm by Zentangle. But we also had uh Künstler, Stler by Margaret Bremmer. And that was going to be our Tangle of the week. I think we're on week 41, maybe, because it's 41 or 42. I'll look it up. I'm a little behind, and I will definitely catch up. So let me take a look here in my notes yep, I'm on week 41. So we're trying to catch up a little bit there. So it's kind of two projects in one here. So there we have it. Our final tile for Inktober Tangles 2024. It's been super fun. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for watching my demos and tangling along with me. I hope we do this again next year, but for this year, it's a wrap. Thank you again. You guys are amazing. And remember, I love all of you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.